Welcome back. In this week's video, we are doing this awesome dresser. So it really only has damage to the top. There's just a couple chips of veneers on the front of the drawers, but the top is kind of where I have to spend most of my time. Everything else is in great condition. It did, however, have these awesome moldings on it. So anytime I get a piece that has something cool or interesting that I want to use later, I just take an impression of it so that I have them to use on other pieces or, fun decorative pieces, what have you. And then we're going to start by removing the hardware, as you do. These are really cool ones. They had like little pegs in them to hold them so they never spun. Oh, it was lovely. Okay, so for repairing this veneer, I'm using my Titebond, but not the Quick and Thick. I'm using the regular, I think it's Titebond 2. It's a thinner glue, so it works really well underneath veneer. So it's it just moves a little more easily. And I just used a little popsicle stick, shoved it up in there, and then I'm using this longer kind of scrap piece of wood that I have to help push it and distribute the pressure of the clamps. And now my little molding was on there for long enough, so I'm just removing that. And then I'm going to get to cleaning. So this is just my chalk mountain cleaner. This stuff is really, really great for pieces like this. It just cleans off anything that's on there that I want gone. It smells delightful. So you guys saw the last cabinet I did. I would not use this cleaner on that cabinet. That cabinet needed some serious stuff. But if you just need like a light cleaning just to take off fingerprints and dust and surface oils, this is really great for that. And you don't feel like you're breathing in chemicals because you're not. And then I'm just using this Durham's water putty to fill in any of the chips that I have in the veneer on the front of the drawers. This stuff's really cool. You just mix up a little bit at a time. It dries super hard and it's just really easy to use. And then I'm going to use some stripper on the legs. I want to keep the legs natural wood, but I want it to be lighter, so I'm just throwing that on there. And then the top, now that I've taken everything off, I'm going to give it a good sanding. So I didn't go too far down because I knew I was going to do kind of a whitewash look. I want it to look a bit like driftwood. So that's the goal here. I didn't have to go too crazy because, again, there was kind of chips in the top of this and just some cracking and damage. So I can't go all the way wood because a stain, you would be able to see all those imperfections. So this is a fun way to keep it, kind of naturally, but conceal a lot of flaws. So I'm just going back and forth with the color on this, getting it soaked in. This is light khaki in the Chalk Mountain line. And I'm just going to go back and forth with a few different colors, dry brushing and getting it just to where I like it. And you're just playing with this back and forth with the colors once I start introducing the other colors. This is just my base layer of the light khaki. And it's just brushing it on. I have my mister bottle. If I think it's too heavy in some areas, I'll wipe it back. If I think it's not enough in some areas, I add a little bit more. I'm using a chip brush for this because it just doesn't really matter. And then I'm taking sapphire and a bit of aquamarine and the light khaki. I'm letting the top dry completely just so that these aren't the colors I'm using currently on the top. I'm mixing and making a custom blend for the base. And then I decided that was just a little bit too bright, so I'm gonna tone it down a bit with Woodland Harbor. If any of your paints get that skin on the top, just peel it off and it's like fresh paint again. Don't put it back into the jar unless you want really chunky paint. So these are just kind of how I do my mixes. Everything's by eye. I don't measure anything. I just kind of go with it. I do make sure that I make enough to do the entire piece, but I'm never too particular about it. Okay, so I'm taking the hemp wax on the drawer slides and the drawers just to, one, refresh the drawers, and also it makes the drawer slide so much easier if you wax your drawer slides. It's just like a million times better if you do this. It's an extra step, but totally worth it. Okay, this is just quickly, I'm doing the entire piece in a base coat of that like really soft blue color. So I'm not gonna make you watch that. It's just the whole thing got this. And then I'm going to do the same treatment on the legs as I'm doing to the top. Okay, now I'm taking Woodland Harbor, and this is just dry brushing with a chip brush again in certain areas. So I'm not going over the entire piece. I'm just kind of hitting it in certain spots, going back and forth. If the colors look too harsh in some areas, I will use the mister bottle and the brush and kind of smooth them out and rub them out to tone it down. And it's gonna look a little bit weird at first. You're gonna be like, oh, this is splotchy and I don't like it. Yeah, just give it a minute. And then you can go over it with a sanding sponge just to take down any high points. Then I've got more of the light khaki going on, and you're just working in light layers. And just going back and forth with the colors that you're using. Typically, I like to do like a lighter gray or a lighter blue or something around there, mixed with brown, and then of course, whatever color you use for whitewashing. The color I'm mixing up here is just my darker color that I'm gonna have along the bottom. And it's the same colors that I used for the base, only I added a little bit of Iron Gate and took out the aquamarine. And the top, I'm just strictly doing the light khaki. And this is a super subtle blend. This one's not difficult at all because the khaki was already in the main color and it just makes it super easy to blend into that. And the only reason I'm doing this is so that it's not such a stark contrast between the base and the top. So as you can see, I just kind of go back and forth. I did the whole thing in the one color. I added the light khaki. I go back and forth. And then to do the darker color, it's the exact same process. And blending just takes time. You just take your time with it, mess around with it, see what you like. If you need to add in a blank brush, like a clean, dry blending brush, you can do that too if that makes it easier. I find I do that a lot less now. It could just be laziness though, if I'm being honest. Okay, so here is a really fun thing. This is just my Chalk Mountain Satin Poly. I put a little bit of Woodland Harbor in it, just a smidge, and it works as a glaze while also conveniently sealing the top of my dresser. So it's going to help all those colors kind of marry in together and just look a little more cohesive and a little more driftwoody. That's a word, right? It's totally a word. Then of course I'm giving the entire piece once over with the sanding sponge, as you do. And then we are going to white wax it. I feel like I'm on a white wax kick lately. I can't help it. I love this stuff, and I think it's because it's summertime and I really like kind of the airy look of it. And then I'm also, even though the top is sealed with poly, I am also white waxing the top because it is just another layer of awesomeness that will just add to the piece and give extra protection. I'm gonna say that I almost always wax over poly on top of something that I think is gonna get quite a bit of use. And then I'm taking some gilding wax. I believe this one is Rub and Buff in Antique Gold. I'm sorry I didn't show it to you, but that's what it is. I use it quite frequently. And I'm just gonna go over the high points on the moldings and then as well as the hardware. And then again, I decided that I needed to add a little extra fance, so I'm taking my roast wall stamp and I'm gonna do this over the center part, and then I also did it to the top drawers. And this is just, I use my brayer to run the paint over it and then stamp it on. So this is just like a floral stencil that I have. I also did the lace stencil on the top 2 drawers so that it wasn't too much, but you know, you have to decorate the drawer sides. I feel like things sell better if you do decorations on your drawer sides. I could be wrong, but in my area, at least it works so much better. So there's the top. I love how it turned out. I think it's so lovely, just with the dry brushing and everything back and forth with the colors, and oh, it's great. It's just a beautiful piece. Hey guys, so what do you think? I think it turned out just lovely. I am so excited for this one. I'm hoping it sells quickly. I'm going to list it and see what happens. It's very soft and subtle, and I feel like it could hit a number of different decor styles, which is kind of the goal when you're doing these things, because the wider your audience, the bigger chance you have to sell it. So there's that. This right here, I'm very excited about. We're gonna do a giveaway. It's my first giveaway, so let's get it down here. So you guys know that I'm a Chalk Mountain brand ambassador, so obviously that's what I'm gonna give away. I had just a few extra things, and then I ordered a couple things for you as well. And you guys know that most of my stuff is blended and things like that. I decided to do kind of like an easy beginners type situation for blending. Okay, so Mellow White. It's my favorite white in their line. It is not the brightest white in the line, so it's not that really stark, but it's a really good white, and I love it so much. So this is number 8, Mellow White. The second color is called Steel, and it is kind of like a blue-toned, like mid-tone gray. It is lovely. So that's the next one. And then this one is another one of my all-time favorite colors. I use it probably on almost every piece. It's called Iron Gate. This is number 42. So there's 3 colors right there for you to blend together. So a dark, mid, and a light. And I tried to keep them pretty close together for you. Blending just takes practice. That's all that there is. You want to start easy, I'd start this way, or you know, try it all 3. So there's those 3 things. Then these are natural bristle brushes, so they lay paint on really well, and they do give it a little texture. If you don't like texture in your paint, you need to make sure that your paint is watered down by using a mister bottle and making sure that your brush is damp. I make sure my brushes are damp before I even let them touch the paint, but you want to keep a mister bottle on you as well. That will keep your paint thinned out enough so that the paint can self-level. It is a self-leveling paint. It's awesome stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Then, one of my most favorite things, this is their palm wax brush. Oh man, this thing gets like, so you can wax inside details. It's awesome for that. So you buff it off with a cloth or something the like after it's been sitting on there. But this thing is just so great for getting into details. If you want to use something like larger for flat surfaces, that's fine, but this bad boy is big enough to do a lot of tasks. And then, since we have such neutral colors, I thought it would be fun to do, I've got 2 waxes here. I have an indigo and a jade. So if you wanted to do kind of like a, you know, like how copper pennies get the like kind of greenish blue kind of decay on them. Yeah, so you can do that with these. So these are super cool and super fun, and they will tint your colors. So they probably wouldn't do too much on the Iron Gate because it's a little too dark, but they will definitely tint in your Mellow White and in your Steel. They will also fully seal your piece so it is protected. And yeah, that's the giveaway. So 2 brushes, a wax brush, a paintbrush, 3 paint colors, and 2 waxes. So you should be able to do an entire piece with this. Probably, I could do this piece with those 3. They're just they're the smaller versions of them, but I could definitely do this piece here with those 3 paints. And there's gonna be a fun bonus. So Chalk Mountain has just so wonderfully decided to also give a $25 gift card to their website, so you guys can go on there and pick out anything else that you want. They've got all kinds of stuff. You guys know I use their poly all the time, and they've got a lot of great stuff there, so check it out. Okay, rules for the giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel, Chalk Mountain's YouTube channel, and you just need to leave a comment down below. I don't care what the comment is. It's gonna be a random comment picker that I do to choose the name. So it doesn't matter what you say. Say something nice though, or something horrible. It's your choice. I won't be picking the comment. It's a random comment generator picker thing. And then we'll just check to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and Chalk Mountain's YouTube channel. And that's it. I mean, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, I'll see you guys next week.